We have been discussing ways to protect you and your family from frequent crimes that we see here in the Valley, but one we don't often talk about happens when parents are actually not in the room. Today, the focus is on children who are lured online.
Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, they are fun apps and most teenagers are using them, but you need to know predators are using them too.
It's the dark side of Las Vegas, and sex traffickers have learned they can reach beyond runaway teens into the bedrooms of kids in Summerlin and Anthem, and they're accessing your kids on social media.
We have two lives now. We have an offline life and an online life.
Adia Lancaster is with New Hope Foundation International.
You name an app, whatever app has any type of social capability, they're recruiting off of these apps.
New Hope focuses on educating our community about the sex trafficking happening right here in our hometown. Worldwide, the average age of a girl pulled into that lifestyle is 12 or 13. Here in Las Vegas, the average age is about 15 or 16. And that's the age Michelle Balan's daughter was when a stranger made friends with her on social media.
It was like, there's a party this weekend, let's go. And so a couple of the girls go, a couple of the guys, and they would start hanging out. So it became a friendship. And then it, like I said, it evolved into, after hanging out so many times, like, well, we want to make some money.
Sadly, Michelle's daughter was fooled into thinking it was no big deal to sell her body. But since she was still living at home, it didn't take long for Mom to catch on.
So she started coming home with items that I didn't pay for, and she didn't have a job, so I knew there was no explainable way that these items, and she would tell me that it was her boyfriend.
Michelle did what every parent must do. She became a social media detective. Download every app your child has. Learn how to use the app. Read their private messages. And consider locking or taking their phone at night when they're most vulnerable.
If your kids go to bed at night and they have their phones with them, the experts say that is dangerous. You might as well open your front door and leave it unlocked and let strangers come right in.
If you're paying for that phone or if they're living under your roof, you should definitely have full access and get into your kid's phone and know how these apps work.
Michelle worked with detectives to nail her daughter's 17-year-old pimp. And she went on to found Community Heal, an organization that helps trafficked girls. But she's hoping this story is a wake-up call for parents.
Kids have access to the entire world, and therefore the world has access to them. That's what's scary.
I recognize that your child getting into sex trafficking is the worst case scenario. But what is very easy and you need to be aware of is that complete strangers have access to your kids.
Right.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah. So how are they tricking the kids? And now you were mentioning to me in the newsroom that they target certain schools even.
They're smart and they're patient. They'll target one school at a time because if they can get enough kids at that school to follow them and they follow each other, then your child is more likely to go, that person must be safe. They know a bunch of people from my school. So they're really clever, and then that's how these conversations start. So again, may not end in sex trafficking, but you don't want any strangers to have access to your kids.
No, got to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Beth.